Escalante plays another live stream. I thought that would be a pretty good intro. Just, you know, just let me know if it's horrible.
Don't let him lie to you.
Yeah. Anyways, aside from that, I'm going to give it another go. I was playing hardcore seasonal on the Monk, and yeah, that was lots of fun. Hardcore means that once I die, that's it. That character is over with. And without further ado, I'm going to give it a shot again. And you guys get to enjoy my commentary through this whole thing. Hopefully, my voice doesn't sound so scraggly that you guys just want to shut this off immediately. I do enjoy views, and I would love for everyone to just enjoy what I have to say about this stuff. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. I always wanted to stream. If you also want to watch some of my other streams, less content involved. I'm not so much less content, more like not as much talking unless I'm talked to. But since this is a YouTube live stream, I want to actually talk to you guys and let you know what I do. As far as gaming wise, if you have any other questions about my personal life, too bad. I only give you so much before I'm just like, nope, you're going a little too far. Anyways, sorry about the but lately my throat's been going a little sour because of the weather. It's been cold over here where I'm at, and goodness, it's really hard to talk for a long period of time in this weather. Now, what was I doing? I don't even remember. Was I killing things? I think I was killing things. Not exactly sure what I was killing. Now, the funny thing about this is, once you start playing Diablo, after shutting it down, you pretty much have to figure out what you're doing. Right now, I'm supposed to be finding the Cemetery of the Forsaken. So, my guess is I'm going to have to redo that map all over again, risk my poor hardcore character's life in this adventure that we call Diablo 3. Now, I want to make sure that everybody does know that because I'm live streaming, I do not own any of the rights to any of these videos, except for the fact that I, the creator of this video, am just commentary while playing it. Full credit goes to all the game makers, you know, because they are awesome and they come up with the best ideas ever. Sometimes. Depends on what game creators are talking about. I do love me spirit. I do love me some Capcom, and I do love me some Square Enix. Bethesda Studios are really good too, if that's how you say it. I don't know. I've heard plenty of people say it differently, so you'll just have to deal with how I say it. Sorry. Or not. You don't have to deal with it. You could just go on your little merry way and pretend I'm not talking at all. I'm sure that would suit you as well. Although I really hope that you are watching and you are enjoying what I'm doing.
Your flaws are revealed.
Now, right now, I'm playing in the beginning of this character's run through. So, as far as power is concerned, you're not going to see a whole lot. His moves are limited. How Diablo 3 works is that you have to level up in order to unlock more abilities, which is fine, especially when you get into the further levels and you start unlocking different types of effects for every ability that you learn later on in the game. But as far as what I have right now, I can only use the X button, the square button, or the R2 button. Each ability is mapped on the console to a different button, which is, in my opinion, just fine. Gaming, which I am. I don't do a lot of PC gaming, mostly because PC gaming is pretty expensive. I know the hardcore players mostly enjoy that, and a lot of people turn towards that kind of gameplay. And, you know, for the most part, when I was younger and I didn't have a care in the world about builds or anything, computers were fine. But keeping up with the upgrades and trying to make sure that I have the right system requirements for certain games is expensive. And I'm sure you all can agree that, you know, console gaming is the poor man's gaming. Unless, you know, you're keeping up to date with all the new consoles coming out. Which I did hear about PS5's release. I may or may not get it as soon as it gets released. That's still up for grabs. I'm not sure. I'm still working on wanting to get, you know, my PS3 again, because there's some games on there that you won't find on PS4 that were awesome. Really good. Unless they decide to bring all my Final Fantasy series onto the PS4 or put it in the PS market, you know, I don't really see myself not getting the PS3. I'm not exactly sure if I can stream on the PS3, but if I can, and you guys can let me know in the comments below if I can or not. If I can stream on there, I can also go back and stream some games from back in the day. Most of the old games that I've known so far that are popular have been popping up on the network, so, you know, I don't have to switch systems for those games, thankfully. Not that I have an issue with getting the older systems, because I do have quite a collection so far. I have almost every new consoles out there, and I have a couple old ones like GameCube, Nintendo 64, PS2. Yes, PS2. I have a PS2, but mostly because my girlfriend, you know, she's a nostalgia gamer, and she really does enjoy playing the old games that she used to. I found it, and I didn't need any help, I think. But as I was saying, she's a nostalgia gamer, so she likes playing the games she played when she was younger. So we got the old systems, and then she wanted to try out some other games that, you know, haven't been released on the networks that you can't download at all. There's quite a bit of games out there that have not got the recognition they deserve, in my opinion. You hardcore gamers know which games I'm talking about. I can go in depth, but I don't want to start an argument on the chat or anywhere. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there are plenty of games that you would love to see come out for you PS4 owners or any of the Xbox owners. I know Xbox Live is a little bit better with releasing their previous games onto their network. Not all of them, but you can find quite a bit. I know on my Xbox, I have my Castle Crashers. Even though they have a remastered version, I do have my Castle Crashers, which is awesome. My original one. Not to say that the remastered is any better, but it's pretty much the same game. The only thing I believe that I noticed when I played it was that they added some clean graphics on there and some new characters. Castle Crashers, if you do not know what that game is, I recommend looking it up and seeing if you can get a nice little stream going on with it. And, or just watch a walkthrough or something. Somebody has content out there you can watch. I'm not an Xbox gamer, even though I do have my Xbox One. I don't play it on it that often. I just prefer the PS4. Not to say that the PS4 is better, wink wink, but I enjoy the PS4 a little bit more. The controls have always been a lot more easier for me to play with. Some people disagree. As far as shooters are concerned, like, you know, first-person shooters, a lot of people veer towards the Xbox Live route, but I'm not going to sit here and pay for 2 accounts in one if I don't make that kind of cash, which I don't. I make enough cash to buy my games weekly, so I can't spoil myself once a week and buy myself a new game, but I just don't want to just take that 1 week to throw it away and getting a subscription for Xbox Live. I cannot see myself doing that. Maybe in the future, but not today. not tomorrow, not anytime soon. Not unless I become a millionaire will that happen. Besides, I'm only one person in gaming. Like I said before, if you have a job, it becomes really, really strenuous on your time, especially if you have a girlfriend or a family or something that you're taking care of. You know, I'm an adult. We're all, most of us are adults. You know, we all know about that responsibility in life. You know, bills are a pain in the butt to keep up with, and passion and hobby. Which gaming is my passion and hobby, which is why I set aside money just for that. A lot of people would call me, you know, a waster, or, you know, somebody who just wastes their time on games. I don't think games are a waste of time. I think it's how you use your time with your gaming that defines who you are as a person. And if you can make gaming into a career, you know, 100% more the better for you. I wouldn't go as far as saying that I would be a game tester. Now, game testers have a little rough, because as far as I know, they have to play the same thing repetitively over and over and over again, just so they can find flaws into the graphics and the designing. And I mean, as fun as that may sound to most people, it is not. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, here I am talking to you and I'm almost dying here. That was too close. Way too close. Thank goodness I got a potion. That would have been really, really bad. That would have ended this stream too quickly. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, game testing is not for everybody, and I wouldn't want to, you know, make my job, you know, a part of my passion. I mean, a lot of people do, but passions are meant to be enjoyed, not to be worked on. You know, I stream, but I'm still enjoying my gameplay. You know, I'm streaming games that I actually do enjoy to play. Like, I enjoy playing with. You know, Diablo 3 is one of those games that, you know, I do have a lot of fun playing. It brings me back into the day. It's a little bit of nostalgia effect to it too, surprisingly. I mean, the game is old, yes, but what brings me back is having that. We escaped again. We escaped in the last one too. But I remember the good old days when I used to play Diablo 2, and not to say that I didn't, you know, start on Diablo 1, but I really had a lot more fun on Diablo 2 because that's when, you know, the online community started with it. You know, you could probably play multiplayer and couch co-op on Diablo 1, but Diablo 2, you could honestly just sit there and chat it up with a whole bunch of players. I remember there were times where I would chat up and not even play the game. I would just sit there and talk to people through the chat, even though, you know, eventually the chat room became overly crowded. Oh, so crowded. It was insane how crowded it got. But when I first played it, it wasn't so bad. I don't know if you can agree with this or not, but there was a time where it became... There was a time where chatting online wasn't so... And when I say I mean, like, you would sit there and you would chat with people about the game, and, you know, you wouldn't have as many trolls. I mean, there were some, but there weren't so many, and people weren't out to get you all the time. And if they were, well, there were people like that, but there wasn't nearly as much. People came to just enjoy the game. And maybe I sound like an old man saying this, but I feel like a lot of times I run across these people who just want to make your life miserable because they consider it fun. They enjoy it. They enjoy trolling people. They enjoy eluding people. They enjoy taking advantage of people. It's become so different, you know. I can remember a time where there wasn't anybody trying to, you know, sell you characters or sell you things and sell you money or cash or items and stuff. I can remember that. There was a time where it wasn't there. You know, and now you go through all these spammers who spam and the bot, and, you know, Diablo 2's community isn't the same as it used to be. You'll find that all the things that are complaining about are there now. I mean, it's pretty apparent that the gaming community has evolved over time. For the better, I don't know. But for me, it's just not the same. But that's okay. You know, like everything, we all grow, we all evolve. Gaming evolved a lot. Whew, a lot. It still shocks me to this day where I come from an era of 2D 16, 8-bit gaming, and now, you know, people are like, if the graphics are bad, that game is awful. You know, well, and I'm glad that retro's been coming back too. So I'm not saying that it's been a popular notion that bad graphics mean bad game, but there are those people out there who judge it by the graphics. They, you know, when you look at IGN, they put that as one of their categories of their grade. You know, the graphics are bad or decent. You know, they'll put a little rating on there. And I'm not a game rater. Like, I don't sit there and judge games, and I don't review games like that. I mean, I might one day, but I wouldn't make graphics part of the scale and spectrum of the grade for that game. Because there's a lot of great games that just fell short just because of the graphics alone. You know, if it's a well-made game, the storyline's great, and the gameplay is solid, you know, that's enough. You know, and it should be enough. It should be enough. It should be enough that these indie gamers that come out with these 2D games don't have to worry about that. You know, but it's the age we live in, and that's stuff we have to worry about, and that's okay. You know, that's fine. You know, if you're a game designer and you make 2D games, congratulations, you're going against the grain. And if you make a good amount of money and you get good ratings for your great gameplay, man, kudos to you. You know, that's really difficult, and I'm sure that all game designers work hard on their games. I'm sure they do. Even the cruddiest of games, they work really hard. Game creation is not an easy thing. It's not something that you can just be like, oh man, it's easy to do, it's fun to do. It can be grueling at times. I'm sure that it can be a tedious process, no matter what you're doing into the designing or creating of the video game. Because nowadays, you know, it takes, you know, a team to create a game. Because the way games are being released nowadays, it's almost insane. You know, every week. And I can appreciate that. There's a lot of options. Sometimes I feel myself getting overwhelmed with the amount of content that comes out per month. It's almost insane. Because I don't have the time I used to, so I can't beat a game like I used to when I was a kid in, you know, 2 days. You know, these 48-hour gameplay games become a long, tedious process because for me, I like to explore, enjoy, you know, grind. You know, I know, I said grind. Yes, I like grinding. You know, I like grinding through games and checking everything out and trying to look for all the secrets and the Easter eggs. You know, I do enjoy doing that. It's fun. You know, and everybody should at least one time or another find a game that they really enjoy and just do that. Just sit there and just enjoy the ambience of their game. Enjoy the scenery. Enjoy the little things that, you know, make that game so beautiful. I've done that with so many games. It's almost insane. I remember I did that for a lot of people will give me grief about this, but I liked Final Fantasy 13 after the first half of the game was done and you were just sitting there exploring and leveling. You know, I liked that. You could see all the detail that went into the world that they created. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was shocked how well they did it. I mean, Final Fantasy has come a long way. And I even did it with 15. Now 15, they really outdid themselves on 15. Holy crap, the graphics were amazing. I could not believe how good it was. The gameplay was fun. The storyline was awesome. You know, you can't beat a storyline like that. They really made you fall for those characters. You know, you actually feel for Noctis and his friends as they're going through all this hell just to get by. You know, because of some sudden stuff that happened. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm trying not to spoil it for you. But, you know, they went through quite a bit of ordeal, and you really do feel the weight of their actions and the sorrow they feel when bad things happen. And, you know, watching them just pick themselves up after one thing after another happens is just almost amazing. And, you know, it shows you the power of friendship. You know, a lot of people don't believe it, but, you know, true friendship, you know, an undying bond, a real friendship, you can't beat that. You can't replace things like that. Those are the things that, you know, people search for their whole life, is a true friendship, a true love, a true life, you know. And it's not weird to love your friends. You can love your friends, and it doesn't have to be anything other than just pure love and genuinely caring about each other to be a good friendship, you know. A lot of people make it out to be something it's not, but it's not about what your friends can give you or do for you in a friendship. It's what you guys can do for each other. You know, it's a bond. It's the kind of bond that we've lost, in my opinion, in our country. You know, people aren't as friendly as they used to be, and it's tearing your country apart. We can't agree on anything. You know, you got all these people fighting each other neck and neck, and it's sad. It really is. It's almost amazing how far we've fallen in these dark times. It blows my mind. I mean, why are we hurting each other so much over personal gain? There should be no reason at all. None. I can't fathom what would go on in your head to make you feel like, you know, you should harm somebody else. It's just awful. And I'm not trying to be a goody two shoes, and I'm not trying to preach anything to you as a viewer, but, you know, we as a people have definitely devolved as far as our social construct. And a lot of people blame it on a lot of things, but all in all, it's that the world has gotten harder as we've evolved. And, you know, we're not teaching our kids, and we're not teaching ourselves how to cope with it. And we're not teaching anybody about the value and camaraderie. We're putting too much on the individual and not us as a community. And that's what we're failing at. As a community, we're failing at camaraderie. We're failing at a group community. We're failing at a lot of things, and I do hope that in the future, you know, that things will get better. I really do. And they might get worse before they do. Who knows? I can't tell the future, but I can tell you this, that if we as a people do not come together and start being more unionized and more of a community and more on helping everybody else out, you know, we're going to fall. You know, there's no reason for that either. I mean, the human race is a strong, vibrant race. We've been through so much. We fought so many wars. And, you know, some of these wars weren't even worth fighting for. But, you know, we fought because we fought for a better reasoning, for a better life. You know, there's no reason why we should sit there and take all the graft that we've been getting. There's no reason why we can't help each other out as a community. You know, I know it's hard, and I mean, I couldn't be the first one to judge. Because, you know, for me, I'm just a guy who works 8-hour job a day, and I come home from work, I go work out, I play some video games. I don't do too much to help the community, but, you know, if more people were inclined to start a community like that, you know, I wouldn't mind putting some time into that, you know. And you only need to put in, like, In my opinion, you only need to put in like an hour. Just an hour of just helping other people. And there's a lot of things I've seen online, which a lot of people comment, well, my hope for humanity has you know, risen because of this. Well, I mean, that's just one person. And if you're complaining about them taping it for notoriety and stuff like that, don't. You know, if they want to be recognized for their good deeds, why not? Who are we to harp on somebody paid for wanting to, you know, show people what we do and help each other out? You know, people like that deserve recognition whether they seek it or not. You know, when you help somebody out like that, you know, good for you. You deserve the praise. It takes a lot for somebody to just go out of their way to help someone out, to sacrifice their own needs and wants to make somebody else happy. You know, and regardless of the reasoning, the action is still there. We're still doing the help, regardless. You know, we should never judge anybody for trying to help somebody out. But that's enough of that. I'm going off on a tangent. You know, we're playing Diablo 3. I mean, I know I'm streaming, but, you know, if you are watching the stream, I hope that somebody out there, if just one person, just listens to that. Maybe a kid, you know, grows up and decides, hey, you know what, he's right. Whatever the case may be, this is not what we're talking about now. We're talking about good old violence in Diablo 3. It's funny how I'm talking about peace loving and I'm sitting here killing zombies without any kind of remorse whatsoever. Maybe zombies have feelings too. Who knows? But on a serious note, really getting difficult for us. Holy crap. It's pretty bad. I've almost died several times, and that is no deal. I do not need to be dying right now. I'm playing like I'm playing normal mode. I'm playing a hardcore character, just running into these groups of mobs. It's not even a strategy in mind. Hey, did I get a new ability? Oh, I can teleport. Nice.
My path becomes clearer.
Yes. Yes, you did see that reward. You see that challenge unlocked. Awesomeness. Obviously, I've never played a hardcore character before. Or you would never have seen that. So this is how you know you're getting first dibs on me failing at being a hardcore character. First dibs. You guys should only be so lucky. Oh, I cannot wait till I show you my next stream. This weekend I will be playing Iceborne for the first time, which should be extremely fun. I already have a character made, which I will be using. I put a lot of time and effort into that character. It's been a while since I played it, but I finally downloaded Iceborne. I bought it yesterday, so I'm really looking forward to playing that this weekend and showing you guys how it's run. I know my girlfriend wants to play Iceborne with me. I'm not sure how she plans on doing that. She's always so busy. Like, I don't know how she puts up with this. Sometimes, guys, I'm not even playing. I don't even know how she puts up with me. She loves me without any kind of remorse for it at all. She does so much. It's amazing. I could only be so lucky to have such a supportive girlfriend who puts up with my lazy bones, as you may call it. Because the only time I work hard is when I'm working out or going to my job. That is the only time, guys, I swear. Everything else she does for me, and she's amazing for it. I can only hope that somebody out there gets the same kind of treatment from somebody else. Because, man, you don't know what you have unless you're really looking. And let me tell you, I'm looking. Some greatness is in that woman, and I could not even compare. Because what she does for me is way more than what I do for her. Way more. But she loves my company, and I'm glad for it. I'm glad that I finally found somebody who appreciates me for me, and not for what I can do for them. Because there's too much of that going on. You know, don't get in a relationship with somebody for what they can do for you. Seriously. See what you can do for them. You know, that's what relationships are about. What can I do to improve this person? I like this person. What can I do as a part of their life to make it better? How can I make it easier? That's the attitude we should have. Sounds selfish, but it's not. It really isn't. You know what? We need more of that. We need some more people like my girlfriend. Because goodness gracious, that girl would take her shit off her back for anybody. Anybody. I had to wear her off of it because there's a lot of people who do take advantage of that. But for the most part, you can't break her of that habit. She is such a good person. It's amazing how she is. And I remember when I was younger, I was more along the lines just like her. But, you know, people burn me out of it. You know, and not to say that I don't feel the same way and I don't want to help people out. But right now, I've helped people out for 10 years of my life, and it's time that I start helping myself out. You know, I need to work on me. I need to get better myself. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I can help somebody along the way, I will. Not bragging or anything like that. But, you know, there was a guy at a gas station one time on my way back from work. I went and I was like, oh man, I'm really low with gas. And so I sat there and I was like, okay, he's asking for help with food. You know what? At least he's asking for food. So I went in there and I bought him whatever he wanted. I was like, just get whatever you want. I'm really in a rush, but you know what? I'll help you out just this once. So I went in the store with him and I said, pick out what you want and go get it. I went as far as that, but the guy got a little greedy with me. I'm not gonna lie. He asked for cigarettes, and I believe that, you know, if you want cigarettes, you gotta work for that. That's on you. That's your habit. You know, I'm not gonna support that. Even if I was a smoker at one point in time, I'm not gonna support somebody else's smoking habit. I refuse. You know, I did work hard for this money, and if I choose to buy you food, do not ask me for cigarettes. Future reference, don't ask me. I'm not going to buy you and help you with your little habit-forming ways on smoking. That is not what I'm going to do at all. That is just a complete and total waste of time for me. You know, I quit smoking and I switched to vaping. I didn't quit cold turkey completely. I went to vaping. So, you know, cigarettes just smell bad. You feel like butt cheek every morning. You know, you sit there and you're hacking and coughing and hawking up loogies that are like yellow, brown, or red. It's just, I had to stop. And I tried to find the most safest way to stop. Because I was smoking since I was 16 years old, you know. And it was a bad habit. My mom caught me and she slapped the heck out of me. But, you know, I wish that she would have smacked me a little harder. I wish I would have never started that nasty habit, because it is so bad for me. So bad. It was just a bad thing. I wish that I can turn back time and slap myself for even trying to smoke cigarettes. And you know, the funny thing is, all these Dare commercials that people make fun of, like, nobody does that, you know, because they were peer pressure. I was literally peer pressured. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this teleporting thing is awesome. I dang nearly died just now. But yeah, I was peer pressured into that. Amazingly enough, I don't know exactly how it went, because my memory's kind of foggy back then, but I know that I wanted to feel cool, and I wanted to, you know, be the same as this one guy who offered it to me, and he was like, here man, just hit it. I wasn't sure about it, and I really wish I didn't listen to him. I really do. Funny enough, the same guy who peer pressured me into that is dead now. He became a friend, and one of my bestest friends later on. I really wish I didn't listen to him. But he was older than me at the time, and I thought he was one of the coolest guys I ever met. But He didn't die of lung cancer, funny enough. He didn't. He died of colon cancer, which isn't funny, obviously, but, you know, he didn't even die from lung cancer from smoking. He died from colon cancer because he couldn't even afford a doctor's bill. He couldn't afford to go to the doctor. He couldn't afford to get health insurance. He was so much in a bad way, you know, and it's awful how these people are in the doctor's office. He couldn't afford it. He couldn't do it. You know, he couldn't get himself taken care of, and he just didn't take care of himself the way he's supposed to. And it's not his fault 100%. I mean, he had ridiculous amounts of child support payments. Oh man, he was just so poor. And you know what I respect about him the most, even though, you know, he did get me into cigarettes. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Knowing that he didn't have anything, he offered me a place to stay when I was homeless. He said, you know what, come by and visit and stay with me and my family, and we'll help you get yourself back on your feet. And he did. He did. I eventually, my own way, because I'm sure he had his own ideas of how I should have done it. And everybody does. But you got to remember, when you're letting out a hand, you got to let them help themselves. You know, if they're not doing it right your way, don't get so disappointed. As long as they're putting an effort out there to do something, just let them be. You know, he had an issue with it, but, you know, I eventually got back on my feet. And I eventually found a job. And I stuck with that job for, goodness, 3 years? I mean, and it was a hard, grueling job. It was one of those jobs where I'm so glad I don't have to work there anymore. It was bad. So bad. And I'm not going to mention any names on what the company was. All I can say was that I was literally handling garbage. I'm not even kidding you. I was handling literal garbage. It was no joke. It was disgusting, and it smelled awful. Awful. It was one of those smells that you could never forget. And I remember, like, it was like an assembly line belt, but it was just rolling down garbage, and you're sitting there picking out through this garbage bottles. You're just trying to get those bottles out of that garbage. You're trying to get the garbage out of the bottles and let the actual bottles go down the line. And it was pretty bad. It was gruesome because the hours were 12 hours. Thankfully, it wasn't like 5 days a week or anything like that. But still, 12 hours on standing on a line, picking through garbage. Just, it was awful. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I remember the pain that I used to go through every night because my back and my arms were so sore. Because we're talking about these guys would run that machine so hard. The managers did. They ran that machine so hard that sometimes it would break down. I'm not even kidding you. There's no reason. Those machines are made to do that kind of job, you know, and I understand it's old, but they're made for that job. And when you are working that machine so hard that it's breaking at least twice a week, you know that you're getting overworked. Hard. No lie. And these guys just had no remorse whatsoever for the guys soaring through all that, and they just kept them going. Because in companies like that, you just have to understand, it's money. You know, business is always first. When you're in a company like that, in any company, a big company like that, you have to understand that this is all for a profit margin. All right, and you know, companies expect increase in profits yearly. You know, it may not be an exorbitant amount, but they expect some sort of profit. So you're trying to top what you're already doing over and over again. Your machine can only do so much. And here's the thing, is that they weren't expanding whatsoever. They weren't changing buildings or anything like that. They weren't trying to expand their company physically. They were trying to expand their company financially.
To bring that monster Leoric back to this world.
So it fell on the people who are lower, on the lower end of the spectrum, to sit there and work harder for this company. And I'm not going to give the company that much flack for doing what they did. You know, it is what it is. You know, and you know, always got to worry about your business first. But good Lord, it was almost inhumane how fast that machine was going. These poor people. Oh, I feel almost bad for them. But I did that for 5 months, and I'm not even kidding you. It was grueling. Oh, it was so grueling. It was so bad. Oh man, I never want to go through that again. I don't wish that upon anyone. If you do the job, if you're hard up and you need work, sure, do it. But I wouldn't suggest staying in that certain position for very long. I know people who've done it for like, you know, a couple to several years, and I'm just thinking in my head, how do you do it? How do you put yourself into this? And not to mention that not only was the job strenuous, but it was just straight boring. Oh, and like you couldn't put on like your normal headset because they had this rule where you had to have, you know, the proper equipment for safety reasons so you wouldn't go deaf, because the machines were really loud, extremely loud. So you would have to wear these special headphones, and you know, music can only get you so far. I mean, we're talking about 12 hours,
You found the
and
crime.
those batteries did not last that long. Most of the time, I would sit there and I would listen to music for like 3 hours, giving myself a break from the radio, put my normal earplugs in, and then like towards the end of my shift, I would listen to for the next 3 hours, and my batteries would be dead.
You will craft holy weapons with which
They would
to
be
carry out
dead.
my sacred duty.
So I would have to buy myself some extra batteries every once in a while just so I can listen to music. It was so awful. I'm so glad that I'm in a position that I am now. I love my job now.
I have the crown.
It's super easy now. So I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. It can be a pain and a chore, but most jobs can. You know, it's a job, you know, and I'm a warehouse man, and there's a lot of work that goes into being a warehouseman. You know, accuracy is one thing, you know, but you have to constantly do hundreds of orders throughout the week, and you have to do them in a timely manner, so you have to be fast. And, you know, my shift is right on the time crunch, so I'm pushing it. I'm pushing myself, trying to get as much done as I possibly can, so that way I don't fall behind, because literally a lot of orders go through that company that I work for right now. It's a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie, people. It's one of the roughest jobs I ever done, as far as, you know, physical labor and speed goes. But it's a good job. It pays well, and I'm okay with it. And I am on a trade, so technically, because I have a trade, the whole job is unionized, so they do pay. And if you have a good union leader or whatever, union rep representing you, you know, you're gonna get money. You're gonna get paid. And I get paid. Not as much as I would like to get paid, but for what it is, it's good enough. I'm not complaining whatsoever. It's a really good job. You know, I had to come here for one day and do my 90-day thing. Actually, I had to do I have to do two 90 days. Sorry. 90 days just so I can actually get the benefits that I wanted, because I was a temp at first, which, you know, is fine. I would prefer to be a temp, know what I'm getting myself into, and know that I can just leave at any moment's notice without any kind of negative feedback coming from it. And Lord, look at the time. I have talked my ears off. I hope that you guys enjoyed the gameplay, enjoyed the conversation. I overtalked quite a bit again, but I do hope that you enjoyed the stream. Like I said, I'll be trying to get some streams out. This weekend should be awesome. The Monster Hunter, I really do want to get into talking about how awesome Monster Hunter is. It didn't get very popular until way later, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into that. So here's to that, and I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.